Hello, my name is Stephanie Castellanos. This is my argument speech. Here is my live audience, and I will now begin. Imagine living your entire life locked up in a cage. You don't know where you are or why you are there, but every single day you are tested on, handled, and exposed to products and procedures that can bring you lots of harm. For millions of animals around the world, this isn't just their imagination, but it's a sad reality. It's the cruel reality that goes on behind animal testing. And I believe that humans should be more aware of what goes on behind some of their favorite products and what animals go through during these testings and what we should be doing as a society to help eliminate animal testing worldwide. I care about this topic because after doing research, I've noticed that animal testing raises serious scientific and ethical concern. This matters because animal testing doesn't only affect animals, but it also affects the safety and reliability of the products that humans buy and consume every single day. Animal testing is when animals are used in experiments, typically for things like cosmetics, medicine, and chemical safety. These animals are locked away in small cages and isolated and exposed to procedures that can bring them pain, stress, or even death. People believe that this is necessary in order for humans to receive their products, but the reality is actually much more complicated than that. One of the major problems that this brings is the harm that it causes both ethically and physically. Ethically, animals are living beings just like me and you who can feel pain, fear, and distress. And during these testings, they don't have a voice to say no. And physically, most of these animals suffer injuries and often experience long-lasting effects from these testings. Beyond all of that, there is still the scientific issue that animal testing is not even very reliable for humans. Nowadays, there are many alternatives and solutions that I don't think are talked about enough. The National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, which is a US government agency that explains that alternative methods like human cell testing and computer models are becoming much more advanced every single day and can often produce much more accurate outcomes than animal testing can. This proves already that animal testing is extremely unnecessary and there's solutions out there that can be used instead. Cruelty Free International is an organization dedicated to ending animal testing worldwide. And their website explains that animal testing is not only harmful to animals, but it's also extremely unreliable because of the biological differences between animals and humans and how humans can react differently to the substances that animals are exposed to in animal testing. The Humane World of Animals, which was formerly known as the Humane Society, is another trusted organization that is focused on animal welfare. And their website explains that animal testing is not only harmful, but it's also extremely outdated. And they promote newer, more humane alternatives, and it's a great source for looking for more solutions on how to end animal testing. One major solution that we can start with is to invest more in alternative testing methods, like lab-grown human tissues and computer simulations or cell-based testing. These different alternatives are often even cheaper and have much better outcomes with more accurate results. We can also increase transparency and require companies to prove that there are no alternative methods before they result to animal testings. Another solution is to create stricter laws that limit animal testing, especially for things like cosmetics where it isn't necessary. A common counter-argument is that animal testing is needed in order for humans to safely receive life-saving medicines. Supporters claim that without testing on animals first, new treatments could be extremely dangerous for humans. However, I believe that this argument is extremely flawed because animal testing is not always a reliable predictor for human outcomes. Animals and humans have important biological differences, which means that drugs that work in animals can often fail in humans or even cause harm to humans. Because of this, relying on animal testing can actually delay scientific progress instead of improving it. According to a report from the National Institutes of Health, a website that holds information on many clinical trials, over 90% of drugs that passed in animal testing failed when tested in human clinical trials. This shows that animal testing is not as effective as people assume it is. With more accurate alternatives like human cell testing and computer modeling now available, continuing animal testing is both outdated and extremely unnecessary. In conclusion, animal testing is a serious issue that causes harm to animals, raises ethical concerns, and is often unreliable for human results. So what can you do, you might ask? You can start researching and supporting cruelty-free brands, raise awareness about this issue, and advocate for stronger laws that help protect our animals. Even small choices like checking labels or sharing information can make a difference. Because at the end of the day, animals can't speak up for themselves, but we can be their voice. That concludes my argument speech, and here is my live audience one more time. Thank you.